Hi, my name is Tim O'Brien, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some key insights on how you can project confidence in the marketplace. I was at a conference the other day, and there was a speaker. His name's Dean Graziosi, and his big credential, or how he credentials himself, is he said over the 20-year span that he's been in the industry, he has sold over $1 billion worth of products and services to the marketplace. Now, that's not what I found most impressive. What I found most impressive is when he shared how he felt the very first time he was selling something. He was doing an infomercial on how to sell used cars for a profit. And he showed the video of him standing out on the lawn, and there was I think like a Porsche and maybe a Ferrari. And he talked about how he drove them for a certain period of time and then sold them for, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 profit each. And he talked about how the cameras were on, and in the first moments, he was so panicked, he froze. Now, it wasn't live, it was a taping of an infomercial. So he said, cut, 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 cut. He said he went into the house and he took a shot of tequila. And then he came out and did a presentation. And I thought that was first of all, I thought it was awesome of him to share that. And number two is, it just goes to show you that even the most successful person starts probably in a position where you may find yourself right now. The difference between Dean and you and me and progressing through that nervousness is our desire. Our desire, what we want, is so much stronger than the pressure to keep us within our comfort zone. This is the first thing I want you to know. And I don't care what anybody tells you, because if they tell you differently, they're fibbing to you. I could use a stronger word, but fibbing gets my point across. Nobody's 100% confident 100% of the time. No way. You know Joe Montana, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers in the 80s and 90s, he was Cool Joe. There was a story that they tell, Randy Cross, who was the center there in the Super Bowl, and there's a minute or so to go, and they're on their 20-yard line, and they've got to drive a full 80 yards to score a touchdown to win the Super Bowl. And they're all in the huddle, and they're panicked, and they're nervous, and they're just beside themselves. And Joe Montana looks up and says, "Hey, man, hey, there's John Candy." And Randy Cross said, "I knew we'd win at that point. At that point, I knew we would absolutely win." A friend of mine was telling me that when Joe Montana used to go out when he was single to try to meet girls, he was super nervous. Think about that. 80,000 people screaming, and the guy's Cool Joe. Goes out to meet a pretty girl one-on-one, and he's scared. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's 100% confident 100% of the time. Okay, so let me share some strategies with you. First, you got to be prepared. I find that the number one reason people experience nervousness is they're not prepared. Now, it doesn't mean if you're fully prepared, you're going to have no nerves. But what's going to happen is you're going to diminish those nerves significantly, because when you start, let's say you get nervous and you might get a little bit of brain freeze or something, you can go on to autopilot, right? It sort of just takes care of itself. Then all of a sudden you realize you're not dying, and then it just sort of works. So you got to make sure you're prepared, all right? Number two, it's okay to talk about it. I was just reading an article, and it said 65% of the people in the workforce said they feel significantly better when they openly talk about their nervousness and their anxiety, right? There's no reason to suffer in silence. It's okay to express, "I'm nervous, I'm scared." It's okay. It's almost like you're releasing it. Don't worry about it. It's good, it's fine. You don't want it to become where you're neurotic and it limits you and it keeps you confined inside your comfort zone. But it's okay to admit that you're nervous and you're scared. Number three, you got to be truthful. And here's what I mean by that. If you're going to go out and start saying things that are outside your lane, right, or outside your area of expertise, you increase the chances of nervousness, because you might start engaging in internal self-dialogue in your head that what you're saying is not true, and it's easy to get tripped up. So what you want to do is you want to stay in your lane. You always want to come from a place of truth. Don't try to be more than you are. Don't try to say more than you know. Just stay inside your lane. Another thing is I have found body posture is key in breathing, right? You don't want to walk back and forth, because it's a distraction. What that is that's a releasing of nervous energy. You want to plant yourself. I mean, you can move a little bit, right? But for you to move back and forth, it's a distraction. You want to plant your feet and you want to breathe. Plant your feet and breathe. Because here's all you really want to do. You just want to get started. Because once you get started, I'm telling you from experience, 99% of the time, all you need to do is get started and get going on the right foot. And then you're like, this is really awesome. Because so many people aspire to be good in front of the room, but they're so nervous they never get started. But once they get started and they realize, I can do this, it's amazing how the confidence begins, to build upon itself. So those are some just quick techniques that you can utilize instantly in order to enhance your confidence and the way you project yourself in the marketplace. Because when it comes to branding, you gotta make sure that you don't come across as uncertain or lacking in confidence, because that'll undermine your personal brand credibility. You always wanna make sure that you're projecting confidence. You heard the expression, you fake it till you make it. You don't fake it if you don't know it, but you can fake your confidence until you get going, and then it's sort of just, it gets going, okay? Get up in front of the room, take a chance. When you realize you're not gonna die, you're gonna have a ball. It's gonna be great. Just do it.